Come Japan.
Welcome to another edition of Why Come Japan. I'm your host, Mr. Radrey, where I interview creatives here in Japan, where we talk about the craft and what it's like to make art and things and fun things in Japan. And today on my show is Mr. Victor Gimmeabreakman, formerly Gimmeabreakman, now ASMR Sounds of Japan.
Yes.
I thought he's gonna leave.
How are you doing today?
Please
And
listen.
this is my, and if you can hear my girlfriend, that's my girlfriend Kiki.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes. Yes.
How are you today, Victor?
I got to tell you, I'm already. I'm not feeling this. This voice, this overhead, godly voice. Controlling everything already.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean my girlfriend?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll just tell her to.
I got to tell you, I'm a little. No, it's fine. I'm a little intimidated. No, not intimidated, but I'm a little. Not even threatened. I'm a little bit challenged. I'm challenged.
Okay.
Like, how should I deal with this voice coming out from the side? I can't even see her. I don't even know.
How dare you?
Yeah. I know. It's a non-stop adventure, really. All right. So
She's like, this. Okay, good. Oh, good. Okay.
What's up?
We can do it. World War II.
Yeah. No, my girlfriend bought me this in Spain. I guess, but I don't really drink beer. But because I'm with you, I guess I'll drink this. I bought a Blue Moon.
Blue. It's a good moon. I'm just having a sake. That's all we had the fridge tonight. So.
Oh, really?
That's very nice. That's a very nice kind of bottle opener.
Oh, geez. I never get. It's hard to like show people this and open the bottle at the same time.
I can do it. I can help you.
Oh, there we go. I got it. All right. It's open. Got it. All right.
I like her. She's funny.
Cheers. Yeah. I was thinking about changing this whole podcast setup just where I have her in the room, just so I could set up more kind of a setup, sort of like H3 podcast has their setup. You ever watch this show?
Oh yeah, I love that show. They're great. I love them. I think she's really come out of her shell. But I don't know if she was always playing it up, like pretending to be.
You talking about Hila?
Yeah. His girlfriend. I don't know her.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I know Double Chins, but.
Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan. Yes, Ethan. Yes.
All right.
So I've seen like 10 of their shows, but I can't say I quite know them. But I'm impressed with them, and of course they're doing very well. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, I always listen to all their podcasts. So it's kind of an inspiration for this show. I wasn't even going to do this show live until I saw them. So
do you have a podcast?
What do you mean? Do I have a podcast? I mean, this is technically a podcast. I mean, this is the live show.
Okay.
So if people want to.
So this becomes a podcast. People can actually download this on iTunes later.
Yeah, you can just go to iTunes and listen to whatever you want. Actually, I kind of got the idea from you somewhat. Because like you always do 2.5 Oyajis, but I've never really like watched your faces, and I'm just like I'd love to listen to this, but like I don't want to eat up my data on my phone.
Of course.
So I figured, why don't they just put it on iTunes? So I figured, you know what, if they're not going to do it, I'll just do it.
No, it's a good idea. We talked about it before, but neither of us, we're just not, we're just busy or whatever. We're or lazy, whatever you want to say, but. No, it's a good idea. A lot of people have asked me, like, why don't you do the iTunes, the podcast thing? And to be honest, I have no idea. I don't even know how that's even done. So I'm curious about it. I know it can't be that difficult because Joe Rogan does it, and he's not a brain surgeon or anything. So.
Yeah, it is time consuming though. It's a lot of copy paste, share, put up. It costs you a little bit of money, and you have to have your own website, but that's about it.
Okay. Well, I've got those, and I guess I got a little money to spare on the side. But anyway, thanks for having me on. I don't usually do these kind of interview things. I don't really find myself incredibly interesting, but
right.
But at the same time, I find most people to be gratingly annoying. So
really.
No, I mean that's kind of my fault. I'm slapping. I'm on Facebook and I'm just slapping my face all the time, thinking, "Oh my God, these opinions that are coming out." So.
Oh, just from people that you're friends with on Facebook.
Yeah, and actually, some of them are very good friends, but it's just, oh my God.
I just think a lot of the problem though is that it's kind of like stream of consciousness sometimes Facebook, and like you don't really think of like as the internet as like this metropolis or this public space. You just think of it as your own private space. You don't really feel like, what do they say? There's like some old Japanese saying that said like you wear 3 masks. One mask is the mask you show the world. The other mask is the one you only show to your friends, and the third mask is the one you don't show to anybody.
Yeah. I've heard that one before.
Yeah, and then like I'm guessing like maybe in between like the one you don't show anybody and like the friend mask is probably the one you see on the internet.
Do you have a face to show your dog?
Do I have a face to show my dog? I don't have a dog. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, okay, fine.
Yeah, that was distracting. All right.
So tonight I was at a comedy show. I used to do stand-up comedy. After the kids came, I kind of I couldn't do it regularly because these guys are pretty regular, and I just couldn't spare the time. So, but it was a 3-year anniversary, so I asked my wife, "Hey, do you mind?" And she knows how to haggle with me now. She says, "Okay, you can go, but you got to let me go get a massage on Monday, which is a national holiday." She could just sit.
Right.
So it's okay, yeah, sure. So I went out to see this comedy show tonight, and one of the guys they had the what do they call it, the open mic section at the beginning.
Oh, right.
So so-called amateurs can get up, and they had this one guy named Garrett get on, who's he's I don't know how else to, the easiest way is to describe this is he's a gay comedian. He comes on, he does gay material, but he's actually very funny. Not that not being gay is not funny, but he prepared. He did a good show. He did a great show. And at the end, I said, and they had a little contest, like whoever did the best, who got the most round of applause wins. And I thought he was the best. There was another guy named Mike who also did a really good job, but it was a kind of a different. It was like apples and oranges. It was weird. He did gay material, but I think it appealed to more people.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still his material, and then Mike did voices, like he did a couple of different voices and characters. So it was a different kind of talent, right? And anyway, he got more applause, so Mike won the drink. But afterwards, I told Garrett, I said, you did a great job. I think you were really, really funny. You should keep it up. And he said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Victor." He goes, "Oh, I thought I recognized you. We're friends on Facebook."
Wow, small world.
Yeah, well, I have no idea who he is, and that's the thing about Facebook. I mean, I have no idea. I have like 2,000 plus friends. I don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, sometimes I get those invites as well.
I just gave up. Like I even asked you. Like I said, "Are we friends on Facebook?" Right before the show started. Right? I think we are, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of it, right?
It's pretty annoying, and it's strange because you're like, there's a lot of people I think I would be friends on Facebook, but I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
For some weird, because it's funny. Like, do you ever feel like you're such good friends with someone that you actually don't want them on Facebook with you? You know what I mean? Of course. Right? And I know quite a few J vloggers who I'm not friends on Facebook with.
Mm-hmm.
I think for this very reason, because we kind of know each other, and I think we'd prefer to stay out of each other's way.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's like too much information,
I don't know. I don't get it because if you're willing to go on YouTube and explore the things that we explore on camera, then what's the difference, right? I guess
that's true.
I guess there's just an amount of feedback that you don't want from certain people.
Yeah, I guess what do they say? Like some people are better in small doses.
Less is more, Yeah,
less is more. I don't know. One of those things.
So how's this going for you?
Oh, it's going all right. I mean, it's easy for me to get guests, so that's definitely not a problem. I mean, in terms of like growth, it's not doing very well. But I mean, what I probably need to do is make more vlogs or I don't know, video essays or whatever. But I really have to make time for those.
So you've made a couple of really good viral type videos that have not gone viral, but are really good videos, right?
Yeah, well, I like them. But
so what's the investment compared to your results?
Yeah, I would say there's more investment than there is results, quote unquote. But people seem to like them.
Mm. But your channel doesn't grow from them.
Not really. I mean, this isn't 2018 anymore. I mean, not 2000. What am I saying? 2009 anymore. Back when it was really easy to get growth. Nowadays, it just feels like I'm in a vacuum.
Hmm.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you feel this way, but actually, this is one of my questions for you.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm asking you a question. That's not.
No, it's fine. I mean, that's
not
what
my
the
place
podcast is.
today. Well, so I was on Gimmeabreakman for. I've been there. It was kind of a joke channel that I started off. I just did it as a response channel, as a joke channel, and it took off because, ironically, it was my don't give a shit channel.
Right.
And for some reason, I would put any kind of shit up there that I just felt like it. And anyway, it did really well, and it actually outgrew my more culture channel.
Mhm.
And when I turned it to the ASMR stuff, when I changed the name and kind of rebranded or attempted to rebrand myself, it really took off. So I was actually shrinking in size for about 10 months.
Really?
So I was stuck at 113,000 for about 10 months. And I would gain tons of subs every month, but at the same time would lose more. So I was slightly shrinking about 10 a month.
So turning it into ASMR really paid off.
Yeah, and it wasn't anything I actually did consciously. Of course, I made a conscious effort in the end, but I accidentally discovered that I was doing it without realizing it. I just made a couple of videos that people seem to really, really like. And if you look at your stats on your channel, you realize, well, this is an amazing result compared to the other stuff. So,
you got to do what the people want to see, right?
Well,
I guess it's subjective, though.
Well, here's the weird thing. Okay, I got a bag right here next to me.
All right.
So, I was at the comedy show tonight, so I brought this with me. But as a result of the AMR stuff, I actually went out and I bought really good mics, and I started getting into mics. I was really interested in mics. I actually bought a Rode NTG4, which is a $400 mic. This is
nice.
This is a Rode NTG4. It's a professional mic, right? It costs $400 or $500. I don't even remember now. And I ended up buying a Zoom.
One where you turn the gain up really high. Yeah, that's what I'm using. I'm using the Zoom.
Which one?
H4.
Yeah, this is the H6.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a better model than mine.
Yeah, it's a slightly better model. To be honest, it's probably overkill, but it's got growth potential a little bit more than the 4, and it costs $100 more or whatever. So but it's amazing, right? So after I started getting into ASMR, honestly, I didn't give a shit at first. I thought this is just weird.
Yeah.
But after I started really looking into it, it became fascinating. Like, wow, sounds are really cool. If you actually concentrate on sound alone, I started seeing commercials for the Zoom H6 and Zoom H7, which is above my head. But I was like, wow, these are really cool mics. The sounds are fascinating, and I want to be in on the capture. I want to do this too, but I don't know what I'm doing. I got a lot of views on Gimmeabreakman. Changed the name and decided I'm going to try to figure out this sound world, because it's really interesting. It's an art, it really is an art that I'm interested in. So that's part of what I want to do on YouTube. But the other thing is, the reason I got on YouTube in the beginning was just because I like communicating with people.
Yeah, right.
And I want the feedback. I want to hear what people say.
Yeah, what's also kind of weird about ASMR is, I think that's only something that you would only see on YouTube. I can't see maybe in a few years or maybe soon, I don't know. Probably Hollywood will probably cash in on it.
Netflix has an ASMR show.
Do they? That I didn't know. Okay.
It just came out.
Interesting. I have to give that a watch.
And they featured it on Jimmy Kimmel a couple of months ago. They had a whole program on, hey, this is what ASMR is. They interviewed all those kids and talked about what is it, why do you like it?
Okay. Well, since we're on the subject of ASMR, I have a few ASMR questions.
And I'm not an expert at all, but sure, go ahead.
Yeah, no. When do you think? When did really ASMR become a thing? When did it become like?
Oh no, I was shocked that like this year. I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, all these channels. And okay, I'll tell you I'll give you some. Probably your listeners, the 15 few people who are watching us right now. So a million views on my Gimmeabreakman channel is approximately $2,000 or $3,000.
Okay.
Okay. So some of these ASMR channels are getting 6,000, 12,000, 20,000 million views a month.
Huh.
So even if you cut my estimation in half, because of course it's hard to tell whether everyone else will do as well as I did.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a hell of a lot of money.
It is.
I mean, that's a
killing.
That's a killing. That's a life. Yeah.
You just got to play certain personas and certain characters. Because, like, I tried to dive into this world a couple of weeks ago.
I don't do those characters yet. I don't see myself doing that yet. But I am honestly think I'm into the sound. Like I have matches, right? And I haven't done this yet, but I'm thinking I'm gonna make a video where I'm just gonna just light a match on camera with my good mic.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tape that. I'm gonna capture that sound, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. You know, I've done beer sound. I've done the opening of it. The weirdest sounds I've done that nobody gives a shit about. Okay.
Yeah.
Disappointing for me as a creator, but still satisfying as a creator in that I actually captured the sound was I got a jar of peanut butter and I opened it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you can remember that, but the feeling of opening up a fresh jar of peanut butter.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's like a virgin. You know, I mean, not that deep flowering a virgin is the ultimate thing to capture on camera, but in a way, it's kind of a beautiful, clean. You know, oh my God, this is the first time, right? And you're opening, and I got the sound captured really, really well. Or when you open up a can of beer, right? You open up slowly, and you have the shua shua, the fizz of the beer,
right?
Japanese for that, the onomatopoeia is shua shua.
Yeah.
So that sound is beautiful, and the sound of a match, you know, those are just beautiful sounds, and I can see that. I can see how people can appreciate that and get into that. I don't quite get a lot of the ASMR, like women pretending to cut people's hair. Like they'll put the camera like right there and they'll snap their scissors around fake hair in front of the camera. I don't quite get that. Except all I can think of is, I mean, honestly, I just think there's a guy somewhere masturbating slowly, really slowly to this woman, slowly cutting her hair.
Well, because I shared a couple of these videos with my friends, like get opinions on them, and one of them was telling me, I don't know if I'm supposed to jerk off or if I'm supposed to like be relaxed. I don't know how to feel, you know.
But when they have a beautiful woman pretending to cut your hair,
yeah,
I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know either. but I am interested in sound quality, and I mean, I think it's really beautiful.
You should be a condescending English teacher, ASMR.
I haven't seen a lot of men doing it, but I mean, my haircut videos are they're not effortless. They take a lot of work, actually. I mean, I have to find someone to get a haircut, or and I have to go and record it, and I have to really edit the sound and clean it up a little bit, quite a bit. Like the last video took me 3 days to clean it up, and I was really uncomfortable with the quality at the end. I just thought, oh man, these mics I have are too good. They picked up too much, and I don't know how to clean it up. I don't know how to use them correctly. So in a way, less is more. You know, sometimes when your mics suck, you get whatever you can and use that. But these mics are so good; they pick up the whole fucking room. Every
little sound, right?
Somebody opened the door, the next door neighbor dog barking, the air conditioning, like everything. But when you're there, and I hate to say this, but I hate to admit this, but it's something I guess I gotta start facing. When you get older, your hearing starts going.
Well, yeah, that's why they use hearing aids.
Well, yeah, but here's the weird thing about this that no one talks about that. Okay, so
Okay.
do you wear glasses or contacts?
Yeah, I wear contacts. Yes.
Okay. So do you feel like a fucking old person because you wear contacts?
Not really, because I
Not
started
really.
wearing them when I was a kid.
Yeah, but would you feel old if someone said you need a hearing aid?
Yes.
Yes. See? But why? It's the same fucking thing, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't
Right?
know. I mean,
You're losing your eyesight, you're losing your hearing. It's the same thing. It's just a different function. But for some reason, there's a stigma about hearing aids. Right? I mean, I never thought about it. And I'm not at the point that I need that yet.
mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking it's gonna come. It's gonna come, right?
I mean,
And then
the
what?
body generates.
I'm going to need a hearing aid to really pick up everything, right?
Yeah.
But I'm wondering about that at that time. And the thing is, people are going to, if I were, and look, my hearing's actually okay right now. I think, but I just started to realize that that might be the next thing to go, because my eyes started going 10 years ago, or actually 20 years ago, when I started studying kanji. When I came to Japan, I was fine.
Well, how old were you when you came to Japan?
I was 22.
Okay, so I was a little bit younger than you when I first got here.
Oh, really? How old were you?
I was like 21.
Oh, okay.
20? No, it's 21. Yeah, 21.
Okay. That was 22.
I came in 2009.
That came in 1992 or one. I don't remember 91 or 92, but anyway, I'm pretty sure I was 22.
Right. Okay, you came here in 92. Japan must have been a very different place back then. Because I was listening to Hiko Simon's podcast episode on like one of my friends' shows, ALT Insider Podcast or Inside Japan Podcast, James Vinovich, and I think that's how you pronounce his name. And he was telling me that there's been certain different types of generations of people who've come to Japan. And he was mentioning you, that he said that you came mostly because it was around the time when Japan was becoming this huge economic mecca.
No, I missed that mecca. I came right after it.
You came right after it, like like post bubble.
I missed the bubble.
Okay,
but when I came over, I was able to snag a few privates that were still really, really juicy. So I had I think two privates that were paying. One was paying $7,000 or $8,000 an hour, and the other was paying $12 an hour. 1,000. So it's 100 and what it would be in today's English, $120. And the funny thing is, those students offered the money. Like usually, I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't have even. I mean, it would have been hard to negotiate because I had no language skills at all in those days. So they're like, okay, so we will pay you. You know, they write it down and show me the paper. It's like, how about this per hour? You know, and I was like, okay, yeah. But it wasn't. The negotiation was very minimal. It was just like, okay, how about this? I'm like, okay, cool, that's great. $120 an hour. So I had this one mother and her daughter that I would teach simultaneously. And they owned a shrine or a temple. It was a temple. It was a temple. All
right.
In Sakai, and they were apparently. I found out later they were like. They owned a very, very nice and highfalutin, sophisticated, whatever. What's it called? High-ranking. They were rich. They were rich, and they had the city shrine. So they had money. So the funny thing about for people who are watching, people in America, you think of priests and Buddhist monks, you think of poor people, right? But that's not true at all in Japan. You have priests like Shinto priests and Buddhist priests who actually drive BMWs and Mercedes.
Yeah.
So it was a middle-aged woman. She was very cool, and she had her daughter, maybe it might have even been her granddaughter. I don't remember rightly, but I taught them for $8,000 an hour. And about a few months later, I got another woman who wanted to break off from the school because I was leaving the school when I'd been working after a year. So it must have been a year. And she wanted me to teach her and her daughter at the same time. And then she offered $12,000. So I mean those were juicy days. I mean, what's just so your viewers can get an idea, right? That's a pretty amazing per hour price, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, I'd say that's pretty good.
That's pretty.
I'd go for that.
That's pretty juicy.
So wait a minute, I want to go backtrack a bit here. Like,
Sure,
what
sure.
was the original appeal of coming to Japan?
Well, I speak Spanish because my parents are Spanish speakers, and I was actually born in Peru. But so my ability to speak Spanish wasn't because of any hard work I put into it. It was just I was just lucky. I was a victim of circumstances, so to speak. But I had heard. I was always curious to see if I could learn another language. I was very good at English. I was an English literature major, and I did very well at university. And got a A minus in my degree, whatever, big deal. And I'm a Spanish originally. I'm a Spanish speaker.
Okay,
but I majored in English lit, right? And I did well. But I was always curious to see if I could learn other languages. So and I had heard that you could come to Japan and work. So I thought I'm going to try it. I'll go to Japan. And the other thing was my father was a big fan of the Akira Kurosawa or Kurosawa Akira.
It always comes back to Kurosawa.
Yeah, of his films, and of course he's the director of the Seven Samurai, Yoshimbo. What else? Tons of other. Ran, Rashomon. He's. I would say he's the He's a Hitchcock. What do you think, Hitchcock?
I guess so. The Hitchcock of Japan.
He's the Hitchcock of Japan.
You could say that.
Very respected director. But growing up, my father saw a lot of his movies and admired the Japanese. And the fact that the Japanese had lost World War II, but despite losing, had become a superpower, right? Economically speaking.
Right.
He, in the old joke back in those days, you may or may not have heard this joke. If Japan loses another war, they're going to take over the world.
No, I've never heard that one.
Right, so it's a good one. So anyway, my father admired hard work. So he said, the Japanese are great. So when I decided I'm going to check it out, I'm sure I was slightly influenced because of that. And I was influenced by the fact that Japanese is said to be one of the most difficult languages ever. Now that I'm here, I would say it's not at all.
Okay. That was part of the appeal, was that it was really hard?
Well, one of the reason I came over the purse is it was a test. It was a challenge. Can I learn Japanese? And will I like teaching? Because my ultimate goal was to go back to America and become a professor in English lit and teach.
Huh. I would say Chinese is harder, but that's just me.
No, I'd say that probably Czechoslovakian is harder too. But
anyway, okay, so you mostly
that's why I came over, just to see if I could learn the language. And my initial idea was stick it out for 1 year, see if I can pick up the language, and see if I like learning, if I like teaching. Mm-hmm. And if I do, I'll go back and become a proper professor.
And then 1 year just became another year, and then the year became.
Well, of course, I met a girl.
Oh, okay.
And I fell in love, and you know how it goes. So I ended up staying a little bit longer, and then 7 years down the line, we broke up. Mm-hmm. And by that time, I had invested so much time in learning the language, and I didn't want to just be like a loser and go back to America with my tail between my legs, with a broken heart. I just thought, fuck that. I'm going to stick it out and see what I can do here. So I became the head of the first non-Japanese head of an English school in Nagoya.
Really? That I didn't know.
So there was I worked for
in Nagoya, you mean?
So in Nagoya, I was an employee at WCJ.
Okay.
Which is a women's school, but they have male teachers, right? And all the head teachers had been Japanese until now. Mm-hmm. And then I came along and I applied for the head teacher job, and I got it. I had the respect of the staff and blah blah. So I became the head teacher there. So I had a lot of, it was a prestigious position, I suppose. You know how people are. Oh, you're the head teacher.
I'm supposedly a head teacher. It doesn't feel like anything to me.
Well, it was the YMCA.
Like head, but anyway.
So anyway, I became the head teacher of that particular school, and my classes were sold out like a month. I mean, I'm sorry, a year or 2 years, ahead of time. So.
Mm-hmm.
So the staff, because the funny thing about WCJ is that it's a great school, but it's also a charity. Like they don't give a shit about making money.
Oh, so
Right.
it wasn't too lucrative for you.
No, it wasn't that. It was that they didn't care. They would max out and they wouldn't care about expanding. They're like, okay, this is all we have.
Oh, I see.
So, but they did say this. Victor, your classes are sold out for the next 2 years. You should open up your own school.
Huh.
Make your own, and the staff, the head staff there, like my bosses, for all practical purposes, said that to me.
What do you think your appeal was?
I don't know. Just I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed my work.
Oh, okay. Because you enjoyed the work, they enjoyed it as well.
Well, you know what? I was you'll find this interesting.
Okay.
Okay. This is back in VHS days.
I remember.
Okay, VHS days.
I'm a millennial, so I saw this.
So some of the first movies I brought over were Mask and Speed.
Mass and Speed. Okay, the one with the guy with the weird face, and then the other one.
Keanu Reeves and Jim Carrey.
Right.
So those were on VHS, and I brought them over, and I typed out the scripts, and I taught those scripts to students. And I was, and as far as I know, I'm the first teacher. I'm sure there must have been somebody else who was doing it before me, but as far as I know, I was the first person to offer those classes, like learn English through movies, back in 1990. I think it was 94.
Well, there probably wasn't that many materials back then.
There was no material then. Everyone was doing just textbooks, and people there were a lot of other ideas, a lot of very creative ideas out there, but nobody was trying to teach movies yet. It was just the technology was tough. VHS is all we had. And I guess the Japanese couldn't teach a script because nobody had script books yet, and they weren't publishing the books yet. Now they have tons, but back then there were no script books. There was nothing, and it was kind of a shady field. Like, can you get away with it? Is it copyright? Nobody really knew anything.
I'm sure it's fine. I mean, today, would you do that today? Do you do it? Do you do that today?
Officially, no. It's illegal.
Okay. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So officially now I can buy the books and I can teach the scripts.
Oh, I guess trying to sell it. Yeah, I guess that's illegal. Yeah.
But I've done this. What I've done is if you go to a store and you find if you go to a used store, they'll sell old DVDs. For example, what's a good one is AI. No, is that the Will Smith movie?
No, AI is that one with Haley Joel Osment.
What's the Will Smith movie about?
iRobot?
Yeah, iRobot. Okay. So iRobot you can pick up for 300 yen. You can pick up the DVD.
Right.
Almost anywhere, any used store. Okay. And they have, for some bizarre reason, they'll have tons of those.
Okay.
I'll buy like 10 of them, and then I'll resell them to my students, often for cost. Like I won't make any money off them. But I automatically have material. And then I'll type out certain scenes that I think are interesting to teach. And there you go. You've actually got material. Instead of using a textbook, you've got a movie that you can teach.
Yeah, and it's visual.
Yeah. And let's be fair. I mean, you might be a great teacher, Radrey, but who are people going to remember? Your words or Brad Pitt's words?
Putting it in that context, yes, you're right.
So if you've got Brad Pitt saying something or Tom Cruise saying something, whatever it is, they're going to remember that much better, which with a lot more impact than they will from just a teacher. I mean, they may end up loving you and thinking you're a wonderful person, but in the beginning, they just want to learn English. So,
that is interesting. I guess I never thought of it that way. Yeah, no, that's a pretty good idea. So what I don't know if you can say this on the internet, but what's the name of your school? Or you can't?
We're completely public. It's Action Language Academy. Action Language Academy. And we actually have
Academy.
ActionLanguageAcademy.com. We actually have And we do a lot of online lessons. We've got a lot of Japanese students now, actually.
Oh, like
Because
how do
my-
you advertise?
We don't advertise at all.
You don't
People just-
advertise. Holy shit.
People just find us. Like people just say, I heard about you, and they just come. Which
All
saves
through word of mouth.
we did advertise for a while, but it was like $60,000, 60,000 yen a month. However, let's see. Let's go back to so back in those days, they had me using CNN. They said, okay, so the previous teacher used CNN to do listening classes, and then they gave me the listening class.
Okay.
That's how it started. And I was like, this is okay, but it's kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of using this, why don't we do a movie scene? I thought. So, yeah, that's what it was. So every student, we would make a cassette for them. We had this bizarre, huge room, and every student had a little console with a cassette tape in front of them. It was built into the desk. Okay,
Right.
You can't even. They don't even make these anymore, right? So we would record whatever we wanted them to learn for that week onto the cassette while they were in class. And then they would go home and study that and they repeat it, by themselves like 100 times, and then come back the next week. And using only Japanese notes, they would bring back the English.
Huh.
That was the rule. So we'll give you some English. You go home, you study it, and then the next week you come back and using your Japanese notes only or nothing, you just bring back the script.
Huh.
From
That is clever.
And I had 14 students, and I was sold out for more than 18 months in that class. Like there was a waiting list for 18 months. It was an 18-month waiting list, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got the idea at that time. I thought, why not change instead of just doing CNN? Let's do a scene from Speed or a scene from Mask, and that's what I did. But I took it upon myself to figure out a way to get from the video to the audio. And I don't remember. It's not that hard. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think that's really clever because what do people know about foreign languages? Especially about English, they just know it from the movies.
Right.
And they want to talk like how they do on the movies. Yeah, that's very clever.
So it worked, And the class was really popular. And
you still kind of do that today? Not the script thing because obviously that's illegal, but.
Well, what I do now is, what I'm saying. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm saying right now. James Veitch. I don't know how to pronounce his name. James Veitch.
Okay.
He's a British comedian.
All right.
And he was on the Conan show. And I'm sure you've seen him. He's got a couple. He's also on TED Talks. He's got a couple of viral videos. And what he does is he responds to scammers.
Mm-hmm.
Like people email him like, I just found $1 billion and I want to help you. Why don't you split it with me and give me your bank information, kind of shit. So one of the most famous one is type in Ducks and James and Conan O'Brien.
Okay, Ducks and James.
You'll find this, and you'll find this video.
I see it. Okay,
so. James Veitch, I think is his name. Veitch, I don't know how to say it. Anyway,
yeah, I see it right here.
So it's a super. Okay, so if you're teaching listening, here's something you may not have ever thought about before. But if you're teaching listening, a good way to teach listening is a news program.
Right.
The problem with that is that it's scripted completely, and it's kind of formal English.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't really speak that way.
Right.
And then, okay, well, how about a movie? Movie's more natural, right? Yeah, that's true. But that's also actually scripted.
Yeah.
The professional writers are writing those beautiful words, and people don't actually speak that way because it's too perfect. It's wonderful English to learn, but it's only in an ideal will you ever be able to replicate that level of English. Very few human beings, even native speakers, can speak like an actor in a movie because they don't have writers, right?
Right.
So you and I right now are speaking with no scripts, right? Did you get your script, by the way? Did you?
I have a couple of questions written down, but that's about it. That's about as scripted as the show is.
Right. So the best thing to study if you want to teach listening, the best thing to study But the best way to teach it is to teach interviews on the street interviews with normal people, because those people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And their English is completely average, and it's going to be full of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to teach listening, that's what you should be teaching.
Okay.
Because it's the most accurate. It's the closest to real life that you'll ever find.
All right.
Right? Like a street interview. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I like about James Veitch or whatever his name is that if you listen to his delivery,
Mm-hmm.
he never, I mean, not never, I won't say never, but often many of his ideas are incomplete.
Okay.
Like but they're at the level that we will like a native speaker will understand. Let me give you an example. He'll say, "Hey, so I got a bit of a trouble with my room, with my flatmate the other day."
Okay.
And he'll say, "Oh," and he's in America, right? He goes, "Oh, but you don't call them flatmates here, do you? You call them roommates, don't you?" Okay, well, so I got a little bit of trouble with. Well, she emailed me. So right there, I didn't even complete the sentence. I said, "I got in a little trouble with." Well, she emailed me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even complete the sentence. I should be, grammatically speaking, I got in a little trouble with my roommate.
Yeah.
She emailed me. But instead of completing it, I just go off like, I got in a little trouble with, well, she emailed me. So there's well with together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you and I, being native speakers, we get that completely. But a non-native speaker has probably never come across that kind of script before. The point I'm making here is that if you want to teach listening, then teaching using videos or scripts is not the best way to go, actually, because nobody speaks that way. You want to, the closest you can get to real speeches are on the man on the street interviews.
Huh.
Or stand-up comedians who are not completely scripted, like this guy, Veitch. Like other stand-up comedians are completely scripted, and you can hear everything they say, but at the same time, it's also incredibly difficult because they're jokes, and a lot of them are jokes that just go culturally or over Japanese people's heads. But James Veitch's videos are about practical jokes, and they're pretty easy to understand. You know.
I see.
So watch a few of his videos, and you'll see what I mean.
So you saw James Veitch in class?
Yeah. So, but it's a YouTube video.
Oh, I see.
So I send them the link. I type out the script, which is incredibly difficult because he's saying quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's completely full of uhs and pauses, and it's not normal. You know, it's not grammatically correct English, but it's completely natural English. And he's a very well-spoken and intelligent person, so he'll throw in the occasional difficult vocabulary word, which makes the whole thing worth it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's great source material for an advanced student. And the funny thing about his stuff is that even if you're not advanced, you can kind of follow along watching the pictures, because he has a big screen behind him to illustrate whatever he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun, and even if if you're not, if your listening is a little bit poor, you can kind of piece together what the video is about. And it's great for teaching, because then students get to report to each other what they're watching.
Would you say this is great for any language, really?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that. I'll watch this James Veitch guy after this interview.
Well,
see what you're talking about.
I would like, when you're watching television, Japanese. Well, the problem with the Japanese language is that most Japanese have learned the proper way to speak.
Mm-hmm. From their parents or something?
Yeah, or from schools. So for that reason, their videos they're not scripted, but there's nothing creative or original about the conversation.
Okay.
Right. So they say, for example, 今日は恋愛について話したいと思います.
Yeah.
Today I would like to talk about blah blah blah. So even if it's the funny thing about Japanese, or the most annoying thing I think about Japanese, is that it's completely, these kimari monkus or cliches are which
Like-
we are frowned upon in English to create cliche. The word cliche alone is kind of a negative word, but in Japanese, it means it's just a standard expression that everyone likes.
Yeah, sumanai desu ka, that kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
this old thing.
Yeah. Tsumaranai desu ka, that kind of thing. But if you talk to Japanese people, they'll tell you, they'll be the first to tell you that we actually don't use that expression. But tsumaranai desu ka expression, they don't actually use.
What do they say?
They'll say kini iru to ina, like I hope you like it.
Oh, okay.
Or kore sugoi yo. They'll actually say this is really cool. I hope you like it.
Oh. Is it kind of like one of those things where like you read like English expression books and then like they have these phrases that you never really say?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, well, in Japanese, in English, the Japanese learn the expression "I caught cold."
Mm-hmm.
Right? I caught cold, but nobody says that. Let me
All
ask
right.
you.
Yeah.
You're an English teacher, right?
Yes.
Do you know the rule?
The rule? No, what's that?
The rule. The versus the.
Kind of, somewhat. Like
Right.
that's like a superlative, right? It's like the oldest, right?
Could be. Doesn't. But you could say the oldest.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I didn't know this either, but when this, I discovered this like 10 years or 15 years ago
Mhm.
because a Japanese student brought it to my attention. She said, or he or she, I don't remember even who it was. They said, why did you pronounce it the? And I said, what do you mean? They said, well, it's a vowel. We were taught that before vowels, you have to pronounce it the.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the apple, it's the apple. But it's the banana, the carrot,
Yeah. Yeah.
the donkey. But when you get to an E, like the elephant, because it's a vowel.
Because it's a vowel.
So before a vowel, you have to pronounce it the.
The. So it's kind of like A and An.
But you didn't know that, did you? I didn't either.
No, I learned that
No.
just now. I mean,
Yeah.
I have Strunk and White, the book up there, but I don't know. I guess I
I
haven't
did
read it
too.
in a while.
I have it too. I don't think it's even in there. It's something that all Japanese know that we don't know.
Where does this taught? Like, where can I find this?
If you look it up online, there's actually sites that describe this, but I had to look it up because I didn't believe it because I thought that's ridiculous.
That's the most bizarre thing about living in Japan for me sometimes. It's like just how I get like multiple like the similar answers as almost like from Japanese people as a collective, rather than like individual people.
Yeah.
It kind of freaks me out sometimes. Like, how does everybody read the same thing and know this one thing, but I don't know? Like, I meet other people who don't know certain things.
It's just for fun. Let me give you another one. Okay.
Okay.
Something that I remember learning in Japan. Okay. What do you call this here?
Sorry, I'm not looking. What's up? What am I looking at?
What do you call this?
The forehead?
Okay, spell it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, you pronounced it correctly. Forget the spelling. You pronounced it correctly. In American English, you say forehead.
Right.
But in British English, they say forehead.
Okay.
F-O-R-I-D. Forehead.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that? I did not know that.
Well, I don't know. We weren't born in England, so I mean, wait, you were born in the U.S. Where were you born?
I was born in Peru, actually.
Peru. That's right.
But I came to the U.S. when I was a kid, so I was 1 year old, so it's irrelevant. But the funny thing is I didn't know that, and I studied British English. I'm actually very good at British English, but I did not know that particular expression. So Tomoko's on right now. She said, "Yeah, I learned that in junior high school." So there's a bunch of rules that Japanese know that we don't know, and that they think that because we don't know, we're kind of idiots.
Maybe this was all collected by one source, and like a person who made New Horizon or Columbus or whatever books it is they use.
So when Phoenix is talking about the eight, it's like I am an expert of teaching listening. So I've made listening dictionaries. Actually, I've actually typed out my own listening dictionaries, and I've created something called listening mathematics. And one of those rules, one of those rules is that H is not pronounced in English unless it's the first letter.
Mm-hmm.
In American English. So for Americans, we'll never say hello, but British people will say hello.
Mm-hmm.
But they might say this is his. In American English, you'll say this is his. You'll say this is his. This is his.
Oh.
Oh, this is yours.
So it's silent like I was in Spanish.
If the H is in the middle of a word, so the Phoenix, just to give your expression, you're not wrong. I'm just giving a little bit more meat or more explanation to your expression, to your comment. If
Phoenix
the H
is saying this in the chat, just for audio listeners at home.
So thank you. So if an H is at the beginning of a sentence, you pronounce it in American English. If it's in the middle, you can drop it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So did you have to? Did you have to? Did you have to? Did you have to? Did you have to?
Okay.
Did you have to? Did you have to do that?
I guess they say
Right?
that. I'm not even sure.
We drop the H in the middle.
Well, I mean, that's why America is no longer part of England. That's why they use like inches instead of centimeters and pounds instead of kilometer or kilometer or fuck. What is it?
But
kilograms.
But British people still use. They still use it. Pounds.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying they don't use that. I'm just saying that like when America became its own country, they decided like we're not going to use.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant England. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that's why they drink coffee instead of tea and all that stuff. So maybe that's why everybody says. That's why they included the H. Like, there's an H in there. Pronounce the H.
No, it's pretty interesting, all that stuff. You know, the way British people. Well, British people pronounce the T's and don't pronounce the R's.
Mm-hmm.
Like beta. You better.
That's true.
You'd better do that. You'd better. But Americans will pronounce T as D's and pronounce the R like better.
Mm-hmm.
Better. Right?
That must be confusing for language learners.
It is confusing. But so what I do is I create a dictionary and I provide that dictionary to my students and you know, of course it's impossible for them to just learn it by memorizing it. But I think my hope is that the fact that it exists in their heads, like that they're introduced to it, will, whenever they're watching like a TV show or a movie, they'll be able to somewhat, you know, apply it and say, oh, I kind of get what he's saying because I learned a little bit about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So but the thing is, this rule applies to all languages. Every language has variations that are like that. Right. And I'm sure, like in Nagoya or Osaka, there's different variations of Japanese that are not standard, but everyone kind of gets it, right?
Evolution of language.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. My rule to apply to everything in life is that there's two rules. Everything in life is done for two reasons. One of them is you're lazy, and one of them is money.
It always comes back to money
and
laziness.
Yeah. So people do things on the internet because they're lazy or money, right? Well, actually, my YouTube videos right now, I make Gimmeabreakman videos because I'm lazy. I don't have time to edit. I'm lazy. I mean, you can say I'm lazy, but I mean, I prefer to say I'm just too busy. But in a way, it's the same thing. Right? I'm too busy with my kids, so I'm too lazy to edit my videos properly. So I just put up, you know, almost completely unedited videos on Gimmeabreakman. And money, the ASMR videos on Gimmeabreakman. That explains it, right? They make tons of money.
You should open up your own channel. Give me a lazy money man.
That's too apparent.
Yeah, no, that's too on the nose, right?
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. But the funny thing about the internet is that people get pissed at you
if they're making money, right?
Oh yeah. Like the fact that you're making money pisses people off.
Well, probably because they see that you're making money and that they feel like it's something very simple to do on the internet.
It is.
You think so? I don't think so.
Well, no. Well, it's not. No. It's not simple to make money, but it's simple to do what we're doing. Apparently, if you're doing a good job.
All right. So they're jealous of your talent.
Let me tell you the secret. This is something that I'm actually a little embarrassed to say, but
you heard it here, folks. Here in White.
Here it is.
Japan.
Okay, ready? Check this out.
All right.
I have always done well with women.
Okay. Oh boy.
No. But I'm not saying. But it's not because I'm handsome.
Okay.
Not because I'm incredibly intelligent or incredibly witty.
All right.
This is my theory. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I am incredibly handsome, and I don't even realize it. But My theory is that women see me as a slightly attainable, just attainable.
All right.
This is a guy I could get if I work a little bit.
So be slightly attainable is what you're saying.
Do something. No, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm telling you that my appeal
Okay.
with women.
Just your
And
appeal.
that's what I think. I don't even know. I don't know. It could be just they think I'm rich. I don't know. But,
Okay, we're spitballing here. So
well, hold on. But my videos are similar in that people watch my videos and they say, I think I could do what this guy does.
Mhm.
I can do that. He's not out of my reach. I feel familiar enough that people think that they can do what I can do. And I'm not saying they can't.
Okay.
Like I think they can, but most of them don't. So when I put out a video of me talking to the camera, blah, 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 it's nothing amazing, but it feels familiar enough that it makes many people feel comfortable. Like, I like this guy. I think I could do what he's doing. He feels comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So that I appeal to them for some reason.
Okay.
That's all. So it's not like they like me because I'm amazing and out of their reach, like a Michael Jackson or something. Because when you watch a Michael Jackson video or something, like there's no way I could do that moonwalk or whatever the fuck he's doing,
Mhm.
or even a Weird Al Yankovic. We're like, oh my god, I can't believe he did that. That's so funny. Like that's just something way beyond me, right? But when people watch me, my theory is they say I could do that. So in a way, it's an insult. It's kind of he's okay, but I could do that. But I don't feel like it because I'm too lazy, so I'm just going to watch him instead.
Okay, so let me put these two things together.
I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying that's what I think people think.
Okay, so you're saying that's why people get upset that you make money on the internet? Is that why?
Oh, that's part of it as well. That's also part of it.
Well, that's part of it. Okay,
that's part of it.
But the other part was about women.
I don't know. I'm saying my appeal. Why?
Oh, your appeal. Okay.
Why do I appeal to people?
I see. Okay, that makes a little more sense.
So one of them is there's I forgot what movie it was in, but there was a study about how men approach women in bars.
Okay.
And it was something of the brain with God damn it, the guy from Ridley Scott's main star, Russell Crowe. Something about brain, beauty of the mind,
Beautiful mind.
A beautiful mind. So in the beautiful mind, they talk about going to a bar and they have like 3 or 4 women are there. One of them is super hot, right?
Mm-hmm.
For all the men to get laid, I'm being very coarse with this interpretation, but just to make things shorter. The best thing you can do is everyone avoid the hot one and go for the mediocre ones. And then everyone's happy.
Mm-hmm.
If you shoot for the hot one, you're never going to get her. So the chances are you're going to go home unhappy. So the best chances for everyone to get laid are avoid the hot girl. Go for what you can get. Know your limitations in a way, right?
That makes sense. I agree with that.
So I have been lucky enough in my life to not have always been the sexiest guy in the room, but for some bizarre reason, I'm often approached in my life, on and offline, right, by certain people who, for some reason, believe that they are my level,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that may be, right? Whether they're right or not is not really relevant. The fact is, that's why I think they do it. I don't think it's not a compliment in a way,
Mm-hmm.
So what do you know the old Woody Allen, or actually Groucho Marx joke? I would never want to belong to a club that would accept someone like me as a member.
Okay. Why do you say that?
No, that's
a joke. I see.
That's a classic Groucho Marx quote. It's 50 years old, or 67 years old. Woody Allen did it, redid it, and he reworded it as, I would never want to date a woman that would date someone like me. I would never. So if you're a girl, just to apply this to make it more real, your girlfriend would go out with you, something's fucking wrong with her. That's from an outside point of view. But imagine you thought that. Like if I asked my wife, like, will you marry me? She says yes. The first thing I would do is like, something's wrong with you. I don't want to marry you. Anyone who would say yes to me, something's fucking wrong with them. Right? That's basically the idea.
All right. So your advice is be average.
I have no advice about that.
Okay.
No.
I know. I guess it's not really advice.
No, it's not advice. No, I mean it's my theory on why I'm somehow able to, despite being someone with no apparent skills, besides being able to talk forever, is, I apparently people I appeal to people, and I think that's one of the reasons. Is that I give people hope. I give people hope that they could do the same thing one day.
All right. Well,
I think
that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something. Okay, I want to backtrack a bit here.
Sure.
So wait a minute. You were saying that you're really fascinated with sound when it comes to like teaching lessons. Do you think that a lot of this has bleeded into your ASMR channel? Like a lot of your interests have kind of grown into building that channel?
The ASMR channel made me more interested in sound than before. I wasn't nearly as interested in sound until I realized that some people hear something that I didn't quite understand.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to see. This is, I think, very important for to be a successful person in the world, and socially speaking. I think you have to be able to understand why things appeal to certain people, even if you don't personally find those things interesting.
All right.
So Britney Spears, I've never found particularly interesting. Justin Bieber, I've never found particularly interesting. Right, but
I'm sure a lot would agree with you.
But the thing with my opinion is that even though it's probably intellectually, applaudable, a sound opinion, if you want to connect with, let's be even more drastic. Trump has never appealed to me.
Yeah.
But if you want to connect with people, you have to. The worst thing you can do is deride those things. Keep your mouth shut if you don't like them. The best thing you can do is find out why those people appeal. Why Justin Bieber and Britney Spears and Trump,
Donald Trump, and
the Kardashians. Why do they appeal to people? Find out. Figure that shit out. There are a lot of J vloggers, and I'd rather not name anyone, so I hope you won't call me out. But
it's fine.
There are a lot of J vloggers that I don't understand what the big appeal is. Mm-hmm. I don't see anything personally interesting about them at all. But
okay, you got to name at least one. I mean, there's somebody who doesn't mind being picked on.
Well, no, I've talked about her before, Canada Jane 3, and she knows it.
Okay.
Like she's not a terrible vlogger. She's not a bad vlogger, but and every month she's losing thousands of. You can look on socialblade.com. Last I checked a couple of months ago, she was losing every month consistently thousands of subscribers. But I never particularly found her interesting.
Right.
And there are others as well that I don't find especially interesting. I don't know what the particular interest is. Okay. Well, let's be extreme, and I'll be a little bit more daring, even though it's not fair. Like Rachel and Jim, who are arguably the biggest J vloggers out there.
Right.
Okay. I don't watch them. Not because I have anything against them, but I don't watch anybody. I'm just busy with kids.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've seen them on occasion in the past, and they are definitely skilled. And June, especially, I would say, has made. I've seen some of his cooking videos, and they are amazing. Right. But if you were to look at their numbers compared to other vloggers, like who's in the chat today? We just look at Asagi, who was in the chat a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Asagi's she gets 5,000 views her last video.
Right.
And and again, this is not really a slag on Rachel and June. It's just an example.
Well, it's done for educational purposes.
Okay, so let's say Rachel and June got 500,000 views.
Their last video, is that what you're saying?
I'm sure they did. I didn't even look. I don't know. I don't watch anybody right now. I didn't see Asagi's video either. I did see the views though. I saw the views pop up, because you said, so her videos are doing well. I like her. I mean, I like them both. They're both good vloggers. But my point is, you cannot say Rachel June's videos are 100 times better than Asagi's.
Mm-hmm.
They're not 100 times better. Those views don't represent quality.
You think that? Won't you say that's more of a subjective thing, though?
I don't think any subjective person can ever say that Rachel and June's videos are 100 times better than Asagi's. You might say twice as good, or 3 times as good, or even 4 times as good, but 100 times? How can you say anybody's 100 times better? Am I okay? Well, I mean, not to be a complete dick, but
no, it's okay.
How many views did your last video get? Or how many views is this video getting? It's got 13 watches right now.
I don't know. Like, it's not doing very well. I mean, it's like because it's all podcasting. It's already live, so people have no real need to see it again. I only do it for the sake of it being there. But yeah, it was only about like 40 views or something.
Okay, so Hiko Simons and my last video got 1,000 views, 1,500 views.
Yeah.
Okay. So does that mean that I'm going to get 100 times more views than you will? Mm-hmm. No, not even 100. What is it? Like 10,000? What is it? I don't even know how to describe it mathematically. I'm not good at math. I get 1,500. You get 150 if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
That does not represent the quality.
Oh no! Oh, that's what we're going to. We're going with quality. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course. That's what I'm talking about. Quality. It doesn't represent. It's not a fair. It's not a fair way of measuring quality. And of course, in the end, the views are what control the money.
Yeah.
So, for going back to the Rachel and June video, they make up 500,000 views in 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or even a week.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's good. That represents easily $500. Okay. And of course, over the course of a year, that will represent, as the video grows, easily $2,000, $3,000. But poor Asagi, and then I'm just using her as an example.
Right.
Her 5,000 view video will make maybe $3 if she's lucky. If she's really lucky, $7.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's small. So for some reason, they reward them small, right? Mm-hmm. So over a year, she'll make, if she's super lucky, I'm going really out on a limb here, $50.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, Rachel and June video making $2,000 a year compared to $50 video.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a real representation of quality of video.
True.
Right. So I'm sorry. I'm not sure. Don't remember why we got on this topic, but
we started talking about it because we were talking about the popularity of channels and why certain people like certain.
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. So I don't watch a lot of channels right now. Okay. So
neither do I.
So just because, not because I hate them, but because I just don't have time because of the kids, right? Mm-hmm. And the little time that I do have, like I'm spending with you right now, or I'm going to edit, right? So it's not fair, but I would say that I'm pretty confident that even if I were to watch a bunch of channels, I would come away thinking, what the fuck? Why isn't this channel doing better?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember her name. I think it's in Light Eyes.
Okay.
Do you know
I don't know who this person is. No.
She's a wonderful to make things simple for people because in Light Eyes. In Light Eyes is her channel name. She's got 3,000. You can put that 3,542 subs.
Right.
Okay. Oh, it won't let me type her name. Okay, and Light Eyes. Okay, there we go. And I'm putting into the chat here. Okay, and Light Eyes. So if you watch her last video, it's a fun little video. She got a little skin in there. She's talking to the camera. She's
Got a
very
little skin in there. All right.
she's approachable. She's approachable. She's a good solid vlogger. That video didn't even get 3,000 views. I'm sorry, 300 views. It didn't even get 300 views.
Oh, I know this person. Yeah.
She's good. She's a good, solid vlogger.
Yeah.
So, a Rachel and June video, or any video for that matter, will probably get 10 times more, 100 times more, but it doesn't mean that they're 100 times better at all.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of quality out there that we don't know how to exploit. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's what luck is, right? It's all about being at the right place at the right time. Preparation meets timing.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. A lot of it is luck. A lot of it is also, yeah, no, you're right. It's luck. It's a lot. I mean, I don't think that other bloggers are necessarily successful because they're just conniving or intelligent. I think a lot of it is luck. No, you're right.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, I looked at her channel just the other day, and I was surprised that it's still this small because I've known her for a few years, and I would have thought by now she'd be huge. I mean, she's ethnic, which is always a plus on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
She's confident. She's not shy. She's a very good speaker. There's nothing wrong with her channel at all. But for some reason, you're another example of that. Like I've often wondered, like, why the fuck you're? Well, I need
to make more videos personally, but yeah.
Well, yeah, of course we know one reason is lack of consistency, which is always important.
I'm also a perfectionist, so.
Yeah, I've criticized you for that in the past.
That's fine. Duly noted.
Well, I criticized Cooney for this in the past.
Oh, really?
Well, we had him on a 2.5 Voyage show, and
yeah, I remember that.
No, and I said, you're a stand-up comic. You know that you've got to get out there every day.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to make videos, and you want to get better at talking on camera, you got to get out there.
Yeah, no, a lot of it with me is just having to manage my time better. That's all.
No, I mean, yeah, that's my problem as well. I'm at school and I'll think, this is my stupidity. Okay, I just taught 2 classes. I deserve 30 minutes of break, so I'm going to watch something stupid. I'll watch some show that I wanted to watch, like maybe I'm Better Call Saul. Let me catch up on that, or whatever show I'm watching at the time. But instead, I could be making a video.
Yeah, no, I know the feeling. I totally know that feeling.
And then later I regret it. Like, oh, shit, I had a good chance to, make a video, but I blew it by watching a TV show instead. I mean, in the past, I've taken breaks from drinking completely, and I've exercised every day, for months religiously, but I've never said to myself, I'm going to completely not watch any shit for a month.
Sometimes you need that little break.
I think it might be as well. It might be one of the best things I could do to improve my YouTube or my online existence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I read a book one time that said time is like finding quarters in your couch. You'll find it here and there, and you just got to know what you use with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really love metaphors. I mean, sometimes I explain metaphors, they don't really go anywhere, but
no, that's true. Yeah. Like you collect, you get a little time and you're like, and what do you do with it? Like if you find a quarter, what do you do with it? You don't even know what happened to it. I mean, it's a plus, but really what happened with that quarter?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to backtrack a bit here again.
Go ahead. No, please.
Because, I don't know. There's no opportunities for good segues. I mean, there are some segues here and there, but I'd rather take this one. When you're an interviewer, actually, think. Speaking of interviewers, the worst interview I've ever seen in my life was an interview with what's that guy's name? The guy who goes, "Oh, hey, lady." What's his name?
Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis. Did you see that interview with Jerry Lewis?
I saw that interview about 2 or 3 months before he died.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. That's like the cringiest interview I've ever seen in my life.
I saw that interview. For those of you who don't know it, Jerry Lewis was about to die. He's got I don't think anyone knew it at the time. But
I'll share it and I'll put it down in the description below. Everybody should see that, like, for what not to do during an interview. But then again, maybe he was forced to do the interview. I'm not sure.
The thing about that interview is that it's hard to tell what the interviewer knew or what he was trying to let on to know.
Yeah,
so
true.
I think when you do an interview, if you know too much and you show too much, it sounds like you're asking questions for no reason at all. Like if I know the answers already, why am I asking you, right? So I think one of the goals of the interviewer is to ask questions in a way that seems like they're actually don't know the answer. They want to know the answer, but sometimes it also sounds like you're just a dumbass.
Yeah.
Like the most famous example of that is when Jerry Lewis was interviewed on, was it CNN, by the old guy, what's his name? Larry King. Larry King. So Larry King says, you were canceled, right? I mean, you weren't canceled, right? You were.
Oh, that's Jerry Seinfeld. Yeah, I remember that.
Larry King, didn't I say Seinfeld? Yeah.
No,
Larry
you
King,
said Jerry Lewis. It's Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jerry Seinfeld and so Jerry Seinfeld and Larry King. He says you weren't canceled, right? You chose to leave, and Seinfeld is like, didn't you know that? You knew that, right? This guy. So, but I'm fairly confident that Larry King knew that. He was just kind of throwing that out there to give Jerry Seinfeld a chance to respond.
So you thought it was intentional? Because I mean, I've watched that interview a couple of times. Yeah. You rarely see Jerry Seinfeld get angry.
Really, yeah.
That's the only time I think I've ever seen him get angry, or was he just being Jerry Seinfeld? You know, it's like he has that weird way of dealing with anger.
Here's the thing about questions: is we often ask questions when we know the answers already because we want to give the listener, the listener to your question, an opportunity to feel good by answering our question, because it does make people feel good. And it's actually, I don't remember the name, but it's a noted psychological behavior. So I want to make you feel good, Radrey. So I will ask you a question that I know you know the answer to, and I know the answer to also.
Right.
But I will pretend I don't know. Like I'll say, oh yeah, who was the director of Full Metal Jacket? I forgot that guy's name. What's the guy's name?
Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So suddenly I make you feel a little bit better about yourself by asking you a softball question. So I think Larry King was doing that to Seinfeld, but Seinfeld didn't realize it and took offense.
Just baiting him?
Not baiting him. He was honestly giving him a chance to say, no, we didn't. Yeah, we were top rated. We left at the top of the heap. But he didn't expect him to get angry, I think. But of course, it could be that just he's old. He just actually didn't know. It's hard to tell,
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, we often, I'm sure you've seen this with your friends as well. I mean, it happens all the time. People ask questions just to give another person the opportunity of feeling good because they're able to answer that question.
I never really thought of it that way. To me, it's sort of like I ask a question because I'm generally curious.
Yeah, but it's a little bit manipulative. It's a little bit insincere. But I mean, people do it.
I mean, maybe that's why some people get annoyed when they're asked certain questions. Like sometimes you always hear about, like maybe like a younger brother or a girlfriend or something that's asked you all these kind of just questions. Or like where you get up to the point where you're like, no, just don't tell me questions. Tell me statements.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now that I got two kids, I'll give you a quick example. If I ask my son, oh, what's that animal over there? I can't remember. What was it called? Is that an elephant? My son goes, no, it's a giraffe. And I'll say, oh yeah, you're right. Good answer. Yeah, I mean, of course I knew it was a giraffe, but I pretended not to know to make him feel better about himself. So that's kind of what we do to each other sometimes, but in a much more sophisticated manner.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, by the way, this reminds me of a great expression or a great explanation. They say that a great writer is a writer who tells you what you already know in ways that you could not express yourself. So one reason Hemingway was so popular was that he used a very basic vocabulary. That he's famous, or you might even say infamous, for having a very limited vocabulary of only 3,000 to 4,000 words. Right? Hemingway.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Right? And they say that one reason he was successful is that he was able to give you truths. I guess they would say these days, drop bomb truths or truth bombs. That's it. In using vocabulary that the reader could easily understand, but could not, for the life of them, explain themselves. So when people read Hemingway, the feeling was, oh yes, that's what I was trying to say, but I couldn't say it. And Hemingway explained it.
That's very interesting. I guess I've never really thought of it that way. I mean,
so a good author actually tells you nothing that you don't already know. They just tell it to you in a way that you cannot express yourself.
kind of like a dream in a way.
Yeah.
Kind of like, because they say your dreams are like your subconscious that reminding you these certain things. Often appealing as like symbols sometimes.
Yeah. It could be that way, yeah. And I think that goes back to what I was saying about the reason I think I appeal to people. Is that because my channel is not especially, groundbreaking. People see my channel and they think, yeah, I could do that. It feels familiar. Not to compare myself with Hemingway, but it feels familiar. So when people see my video, they think, I could do that. And when people read Hemingway, they think, oh yeah, I thought that's what I was thinking.
The next Ernest Hemingway, ladies and gentlemen, have like a clapping sound. No.
And remember, I have been drinking heavily this evening. So.
It's fine. No, this has been a very interesting evening. I will say that.
Completely off the rails. No particular theme.
No, I've seen you go off the rails before. This is Victor Light. So
yeah, it is. I controlled myself tonight. I knew I was coming to see you, so I didn't drink too much. I stopped drinking a couple hours ago.
Right. Yeah, I think it was a couple of times in 2.5 Oyajis where I was a little scared watching you. Just slightly, just a little bit.
Well, those are always fun. I mean,
Yeah, they can be fun. I mean, I'm just glad I wasn't there. That's all I can say.
I may know what you're talking about, but
yeah. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you.
No, not at all.
Just stating how I felt.
The good thing is I own my own school. So, I mean, it's not an incredibly successful school, but I own my own school, so I can afford
get in trouble.
I can afford to, be a fool on the internet sometimes and be drunk in public, and nothing can really happen. My students never see these things anyway, so
got it made.
They don't find them interesting. So,
all right. So the question I was trying to get to here was, I understand that maybe you use or maybe used to use primarily just for communication, because you've always said this. I mean, how would you say it's really changed today? Because I mean, you probably don't use as much for communication anymore, right? It's now you think about it more in monetary ways, right?
These days I'm depressed because I can't get out there as much as I want to. And
I know. I feel that depression too. That's not just you.
No, I mean, this week alone, I've made literally, 5 videos that I just haven't had time to edit. And in the end, I'm probably going to have to mush them all together into this big blob of video and put them out. So I'm depressed that I can't. I'm always thinking, of course, I love sharing experiences with my thoughts, whatever, with everybody. Not just the internet, but of course my wife, my coworkers, my students, my son, my son, not my daughter because she's only 1, but even my son, I'll explain shit to him that I think is interesting, that I think he might be able to get. I taught him how a butterfly is created the other day.
Right.
I showed him a picture this is a caterpillar, and it's going to become a mayu or a cocoon, mayu in Japanese. And then somebody's going to become a chol, a big butterfly.
Right.
And I explained that to him, and he's listening, and he finds it interesting. So communication is definitely still something I'm very interested in, of course. But the problem when you become a responsible, adult, is that it's hard to justify justify your time if it's not bringing some money in.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to make bread, as they say.
Yeah, so So I mean, if YouTube didn't make any money at all, I would still do it. But if you're going to do it, why not attempt at least to bring in something for the family? So
True.
if you're going to be spending that much time on it, so.
Well, I have to say that's very therapeutic to hear that I'm not the only one feeling depressed sometimes about.
Oh no,
schedule.
I'm depressed. I'm depressed a lot about it.
Okay, well,
in fact, I was thinking today, like, I'm embarrassed by my depression.
Yeah, no, I'm embarrassed by it too. I mean, it's like it feels like something you shouldn't go through, As I mean, but you do see people. It just feels like you're complaining, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't feel like really have the right to go. It's a first world problem,
Is it? Yeah, I guess it is.
It's a first world problem. I'm doing fine economically when it comes to feeding my family, but when it comes to feeding my soul, I sometimes feel a little bit hungry or empty, and I want to communicate with people.
Well, it's like what Gustavo Fring says on Breaking Bad. Maybe this is a horrible example, but it's like what he says: "A man provides." That's all I can really say about that. But yeah,
is that in the Breaking Bad or in the?
Yes, that was in Breaking Bad because he tells that to Walt when he decides he wants to get a divorce from Skylar.
Oh,
yeah, it feels so long ago, Breaking Bad, which is kind of crazy. Crazy to think about that one of our YouTube friends was in that show.
David Urey.
Fine Parents, yeah.
Crushed by an ATM machine.
I know, which makes me wonder. I wonder if he'll show back up on Better Call Saul. I would like to see him again, but I don't know.
He's on another show now, something about warehouses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the show because I don't think they're showing it anywhere here. But yeah, he's on another show now. Oh, good for him. He survived getting his head crushed by a.
Well, it's pretty iconic. He's pretty easy to remember. So
it's called Lodge 49.
Okay. He always plays like some strange character in all these.
I think he's a security guard in this one.
Okay.
Which is a step up from his usual meth addict thing. So.
Yeah, it's true. He was in another movie. What was that one? Like Shoot 'Em Up?
Yeah,
Shoot 'Em Up. Meth addict. I was like so shocked to see him, and I'm like, wait, what? I know who that is.
Yeah, me too.
That was very surprising.
I was watching that with my entire family, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Ken Tanaka.
That's a bizarre movie to see with your entire family. Isn't that movie like
it's ultra violent? Yes.
Yeah, it's like ultra violent. Well, I guess you didn't have kids then. So
no, it was before we had kids. My brother, everyone was grown up. Everyone was an adult. The funniest family experience I've ever had is watching South Park the movie.
Oh boy!
And my mother walked in during the Uncle Fucker scene. And we were like, oh my god, Mom's watching this. Oh, this is going to be so bad. She's going to be so upset that we're watching this stupid movie. But she just started laughing. She thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
So she surprised us. Yeah, that was cool. Uncle Fucker.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she likes expletives. Who knows?
Well,
I don't know. I don't really know much about your family, so
not publicly, but yeah.
Yeah, not publicly. Well, everything I know is what's on YouTube.
I'm telling you, we are surprised. We were all surprised.
Yeah. You never know.
We were all surprised by her positive reaction. So yeah, that's good.
All right. So I would have to say I would be lying if I didn't say I missed the Japanese for Morons shows you used to do with like guest senseis. You used to have every week back then. This is like, what is it, 2010, 2011?
Yeah.
I think it was around that time. What happened to that? You just got tired of editing, or just people lost interest, or?
I think I made a mistake of trying to put that onto one channel, a different channel.
Oh. And
then, yeah, I guess I got taken up by something else. I mean, I just got busy with other stuff.
Just kind of like loss of interest.
Yeah, I mean, I still study Japanese and I'm still interested in it, but I guess I'm not that interested in. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I remember now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it became a pain in the ass because a lot of people would make videos with me, and then later they would regret it and ask for them to be taken down.
So it happened a lot?
It happened like enough times that it was like, this is just not worth it. Why should I put all these hours into editing?
Yeah, no, I could see that. Yeah,
and then
that would get
someone
annoying.
contacted me and said, hey, take it down. I don't want to be on the internet anymore.
Oh, okay.
Now-
Yeah, that 100% explains it. Okay.
I remember a few people who actually asked me to take their videos down, and I actually agreed, but it kind of fucked up the whole system. Like, because it was a series, like 1, 2, 3. It was a sequential series, so suddenly, like, some are missing.
Mm-hmm.
So that became a bit, it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and I don't mean what's like what Philip DeFranco says, the internet is forever. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's pretty. People would notice that one of them's gone.
Well, I mean, it is forever, but the thing is, if someone that cooperated with me asked me to take it down, I got to take it down.
Yeah, no, I 100% understand. I was just curious what happened to the whole thing, because you used to be the person I'd watch on YouTube who I'd always go to. Like, I know Victor will introduce me to somebody who I'll really want to see, who maybe I'll be friends with, and it was always fun to watch your channel for that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I miss doing that too. And in fact, now with Hiko Simon's new site, mychan.tv, I think it's going to be easier to be able to do that again.
Well, I mean, you kind of did it again with the two and a half Oyaji.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you kind of introduce new guests and
we do
everything. I guess I got to ask like a small question about that.
Sure.
The 2.5 Oyajis, the namesake of that show, that's like a parody on 2.5 Men, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
all right. I wasn't sure if that was or not. And
there was a big scandal at the time we made that show. So.
Oh, that's right, because Charlie Sheen was getting kicked out, and he was in the news like every 5 minutes or something.
Right. So as a joke, we didn't have a name, so we said, 2.5 Oyajis.
And then the 2011 Tohoku earthquake came and then swept him out of the news. Thank God. And now then after that it was like ISIS and now Trump, and I don't know. Now they won't leave the news now. So we'll hope the next new thing gets Trump out of. Well, the Kavanaugh stuff seems to be kicking Trump out of the news recently, but
yeah, but that'll be gone soon enough.
You think so?
I think 2 weeks and it'll be solved.
Yeah, that's true, because there is a time set on it.
Right.
For some context, for audio listeners, Brett Kavanaugh,
yes,
he's going to become a Supreme Justice leader in America, and he's like under investigation or something, or
for a section of something he did when he was 17 years old.
Something he did though he was 17 years old, and somebody's coming forward. Anyway, that's not what this show is about. I just want to state context. Anyway,
so that'll be done. I think that scandal. I mean, there's always American scandals happening, but
yeah. So you recently did a newer show, like kind of a 2.5 Oyajis reboot thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Do you have any plans that we should like be waiting for or looking forward to with this new show?
We're gonna get back into introducing more people. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but so, under a new name.
Yeah, we don't have the new name worked out yet. So
I like J-Vlog-Men, but that's just me.
That's not a bad name.
Yeah, because that's what you are. You're men, but then again, what if you have a woman on your show? Well,
she could be a guest. It's still J-Vlog.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It could be. Yeah, you're both men, so yeah, that makes sense. All right.
Debatable if you ask our wives, but.
Mm-hmm. So another question I want to ask you: on your, you have a pretty lucrative. Well, I shouldn't say lucrative. I don't know. Everybody always hates you when you talk about money. Let's just say you have a Patreon.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask about this.
Patreon makes $1,000 a month.
Wow, not bad. That's pretty good.
Just under.
I'm sure if I made more video essays and SEO content, I'd probably get up there too. But it's, whatever. Anyway, what do you think makes the best perk?
Patreon. I think I was lucky in that I built up an audience of people that cared about me. So that's really all it was.
You don't think it's like Japanese lessons? It's just selling yourself, or
a lot of it is like, hey, I like what you're doing. Keep at it, and let me just help out. The thing about the internet, and I'm on both sides of this coin.
Okay.
Is that okay, let me give you an example. Who's your favorite TV star or TV show?
Well, we were just talking about it. Better Call Saul.
Okay, so let's say that their director was getting shit money and you found out about it.
Oh, like Vince Gilligan or something?
Yeah. Let's say Vince Gilligan got fucked in his contract and he's getting, like, he's only getting, I don't know, $1,000 a show because of some weird contract beef he had, right?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody started up a Patreon or a Kickstarter for him.
GoFundMe or something.
Yeah, GoFundMe, you know? I mean, I would totally pitch in $5 a month to fucking watch Better Call Saul.
Right. No. I mean, yeah, being a part of a project, definitely.
Right. And I wouldn't want anything. I wouldn't want him to, like, I wouldn't expect him to call me and say, thanks, man. At all. I would just be happy to have that opportunity. So the thing about a lot of Patreon supporters is that a lot of them, and this sounds, this is not meant to sound unappreciative because I completely appreciate it. I mean, it's amazing what they have let me do by their support. But at the same time, because I am also an admirer of other people, and I understand that desire to say thank you to someone who's provided you some happiness in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the fact that I make people happy is something I never expected, you know, and it wasn't my goal. But the fact that some people are actually, you know, that I make people happy with my videos for some bizarre reason, you know, that's great. And I've had people like send me Christmas presents and Christmas cards and birthday presents and birthday cards and presents for my kids. People send me like $100, like last Christmas, I got $100 just to buy presents for my kids, which I did. I spent it on $100 worth of train tracks that I never would have bought. I mean, I'm very honest with that. You know, someone said, buy your kids train tracks so they can make more train tracks. I did. And some of them are still unopened because I didn't have it, you know, it's just too many.
Yeah. Maybe you could teach them how to put it together.
Yeah. So
probably not old enough yet, but.
No. The son's good. He's good at it.
Okay.
She's not. She's just more of a destroyer. But the thing is, people want an opportunity to thank you if they're getting joy from your content.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I understand that. So I think it's when you ask me what's the best way to, you know, I guess I could say if my channel were a completely language-based channel, yeah, I suppose doing that would be the best way to do it. And I did, and I have tried that. I make, you know, news videos that teach Japanese, but I think I'm guessing honestly that the reason people support me is because they just want to. I somehow bring a little joy to their lives, and they want to say thank you.
Yeah, that makes 100%. That makes sense.
I am wearing pants, by the way, but I just realized it looks like I'm not wearing any pants.
You should have started the interview off that way. Hey, my name is Victor, and I'm not wearing pants.
This is going up on the side there. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
On the side there.
For context. All right. So everybody knows. Nobody write me negative comments in chat.
No, give me more positive comments.
Yeah. No, because I saw on your Instagram you posted like a bunch. You got a bunch of those Chirashi, the little mini posters that you give as perks to some of your Patreon followers.
That's like bonus. That's not. I mean, I'll send those with other stuff. But someone told me someone actually contacted me and said I want to get a Japanese poster of the Logan video, the Logan movie. You know Logan,
right? The
Wolverine movie.
Mm-hmm.
But in Japanese, and it says Logan, and in katakana under it says Logan.
Yeah,
Logan, right? And it's a pretty cool poster. And it's just a little. I don't even know if they have these in the States, but it's just an A4 size. It's only this size. It's really small. So what I started doing months ago is every time I go to the movies, or when my students go to the movies, they'll just grab a bunch. So I collected. I've actually got like literally 200 or 300 posters. And what I do is I send out 10 at a time.
So they're like
Patreon supporters, and they don't cost much to send, so I'm not really out any money. I mean, a little
Right,
bit.
it's just paper. I mean, is there like particular movies they say you want? I mean, you just mentioned Logan, but I mean, usually when you just like put them all in a bag.
That's just an example. But I mean, I just picked 10 different ones. I put that on the Instagram recently just to show what the most recent one looked like.
Oh, okay.
But I mean that was like the Predator poster, which was cool. The Mission Impossible, the Lethal, the one with Denzel Washington. What's his name? Equalizer 2. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really cool posters.
So nobody really says, "I want the mini posters. Send the mini posters."
Thing. I've had specific requests, but no, like the movie, like give me this particular movie, like the Logan one. Someone asked me for the Logan one.
Oh, okay. So it's not just an example; it's an actual.
No, someone actually asked me for the Logan one, but what I put on Instagram the other day was just an example of things that I send out. But someone has actually asked me for specific ones. Someone also asked me, like, contacted me like last week and asked me, can you get to the post office and buy me Mazda stamps?
Mazda? You mean the car company?
Yeah, so Mazda put out these stamps. Right?
Uh-huh.
So you know, like in America, they'll have like we're gonna remember James Dean, and these are some stamps to remember James Dean, or Elvis Presley, or Marilyn Monroe, or whatever, or whoever.
Okay.
Martin Luther King, that kind of thing. So someone famous. So in Japan, one of the, I guess, they put out these special stamps to memorialize the Mazda car, like one of the first editions. And this guy in America contacted me and he said, I want those stamps, but I can't buy them online.
Yeah.
Right? Can you get them for me?
Mm-hmm.
And he sent me $100. Right? Because he's desperate to get them. And he's like, look. And I said, look, I said, if I can get them, I'll get them. I'll try. And if I can, I'll return the money. So I went to the post office, and it took me an hour and a half sitting at the post office while these guys at the post office spent also an hour and a half trying to track down these very specific stamps that they had.
Well, it's nice of them. I mean, a lot of work too, but yeah.
And they found it, and I mean that's what I'll do sometimes. I've had these weird requests before. So
yeah, come to think of it, I've had these weird. I guess I wouldn't call it weird, but I've had requests like this before too. Like there's something that you only have in Japan that you that other people want outside of Japan are really looking for. Like one of it was recently was the new Dragon Ball Z movie coming out, like Borodi or something. Can't remember the title. They all blue hair, and he says, "Could you go get me a Chirashi? Like get me 7 of them." I'm like, all right, sure.
Yeah.
I didn't send it to him, but when he gets here, I'm going to give it to him. So
okay. Well, I got a guy coming in November who asked me months ago to get him a Coca-Cola, a cherry Coca-Cola or something, or cherry Pepsi. I don't remember which one. It's in my fridge, but it's sitting there with his name on it. So when he comes, I'll give it to him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So one other thing I wanted to ask, because you did this whole natto challenge, like you only ate natto for how long was it? It was a month?
28 days.
28 days. Okay, so like a month, basically the whole month of February.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How did that go? I mean, maybe you posted some stuff on.
Well, I got
YouTube,
really weak.
Maybe I missed it.
I got really weak. I lost a lot of my muscle tone. So right now, my muscles are, I don't know, I can do 6 pull-ups this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty hard. Like before I couldn't do that. I can do 6 pull-ups, like proper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But when at the end of the not turn challenge, I could only do like 3. I'd lost a lot of my strength.
Huh.
But I was getting my pant belts had gone down like 5 rings on the belt, whatever they call them, 5 holes.
Right, notches.
But my students, this is what happened. I went to nursery school to take my kids to nursery school. and the teachers thought I had cancer.
Yikes.
So they told my wife, they said to my wife, is your,
Oh my
is your
God.
husband okay?
Oh my
You know?
God. Okay. Wow.
So I lost so much weight so quickly that people thought I was sick. And
Wow.
people actually commented that I was too skinny. Right. You know, so I put on some of that weight back, and I started, you know, lifting weights again.
Uh-huh.
So now I feel healthy, but I feel, you know, like a gorilla again, which I guess is more my natural. I mean, I got more of a gut than I had before. I did, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get down to a six pack. I got down to a 2-pack. That's all. But you know, but it's hard, you know, when you have kids, all that, and then you go to America for a month and pick out, you know, you're just babysitting every day for a month for 3 weeks. So yeah, I mean, here's the thing: if you want to drop a lot of weight quickly,
Yeah.
then I think the natto challenge is a great thing to do, because you just force yourself to only eat natto, and you get so sick of it that you're just not hungry anymore. Like, oh fuck, I just don't feel like eating. And natto has so few calories. So for example, I don't know if this is why you're asking me, but if you want to drop a lot of weight, eat 9 to 10 packets of natto a day,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be sick of eating. And then to give yourself a little reward, have an apple, and you will find apples so delicious. Like after eating natto for only 2 weeks, I started incorporating like apples into my diet. Like I'll have a green apple, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or a pear, and it was like, oh my God, this is so delicious.
Hmm. So help you appreciate it more. And the only reason why I'm asking about this is because you always hear about these weight loss things, like no coffee challenge or no or do the supersize me only McDonald's challenge.
It was just something that I was trying.
Yeah, no, it's not. It sounded like an interesting experiment.
Yeah. I'm going to do it again.
Really?
But remember, I also cut out all alcohol for 28 days.
Oh,
that's hard to do because there's celebrations in Japan, and people are like, let's have a party, and then it makes everyone uncomfortable if you're usually the big drinker and then you suddenly don't drink. You know?
Yeah, I can get
everyone feels like, oh, this is not fun.
Right. So we're 2 hours into this interview, and we probably should wrap it up here because we have lives and things and stuff to do. There was one more question. I mean, we could lightning round it if you want,
sure,
or we could just
do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
So, this is lightning round. This last one. So I was talking to the other Victor, the frame of travel, if you know who that is.
Right. Yeah.
The episode before this one.
Okay.
And I was asking about what it is that makes good YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
And to this he said, and I mean with this, he's like, I was talking about how I appreciate the amateur, but he was saying like how Chris abroad from abroad in Japan,
right.
He kind of dominated. I want to say he dominated the Japan market, unless you think that Rachel and June dominated the Japan market. So I don't know. Anyway, the question here is, do you think these types of videos are what everybody in Japan should follow? This is what we were talking about.
Not at all.
Not at all, really.
No.
Okay.
But it's not fair to ask me because I don't watch either of them.
Yeah, that's true. I don't really either, because I feel like sometimes I'm kind of like looking for ideas and like what should I do? What should I make? Everybody's telling me like people want to see vlogs. I always get the best responses from vlogs or whatever, right? I don't get much out of them.
Well,
but.
No. I mean, I can't say that what you're saying is wrong because I have no idea what kind of videos Chris makes. I don't watch it. Like I haven't seen his videos in years. I have no idea what he makes at all. I assume they're comical.
Mm-hmm.
I saw one of Rachel and June's. I haven't seen a Rachel and June video in years either, but I did see a June video a few years ago that incredibly impressed me. And I did see a Rachel and June video when they put up a house, which is also like 2 or 3 years ago. But I haven't seen a Chris abroad in Japan video
that makes you have such awe. You're not awestruck by any of them. Okay.
No. I mean, I'm sure he's. I mean, the most impressive thing I ever saw him do was his TED Talk.
Wait, he did a TED Talk?
Yeah,
this I didn't even know. I guess I'll have to go find that. All right. Yeah, no, because
He did a really good TED Talk. What annoys I mean, those guys, I shouldn't say annoy. Those guys, I do YouTube more for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm appreciative of the money. Those guys, I think, I have no idea. This is completely talking out of my ass, but I'm thinking for them, it's more of a profession.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we have like these parties and stuff where they have a chance to attend, they're always too busy because I don't know, but they never come to any of that. So in the old days, everyone would come, regardless of however, big you were or important you were. So,
yeah.
So, I often, I think I think that our little get-togethers are great opportunities for anybody to use to promote their own channel in a way. So, for example, if you're Christian abroad and you don't, and you have tons of fans, I'm assuming you have tons of fans.
Yeah.
And we're putting together a event, It kind of takes all the hard work out of the equation by just saying, okay, I'm going to tell all my followers about this event. And I'm going to come to this event, and then people can come meet me at this event. But my impression, and this is completely talking out of my ass, is that he has no interest in talking to his followers.
I definitely agree with that.
So, I don't know if that's true at all. Which is completely the opposite of the reason I do the video, because I want to talk to the people who watch me.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there are many fewer. There are a lot fewer than he has.
Yeah.
The people who want to talk to me, they're not as many as the people who want to talk to him. But even for that reason alone, I would think it would be a great opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So
okay. Yeah. No. The other reason I ask this question is because I'm just, like everybody else, just want to see what kind of videos I should make for this platform. I mean, for example, this podcast, I just do it because I want to have conversations with people. And this gives me a reason to say, we can have a conversation here.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I have meaningful conversations on this podcast. And like, I'm glad that I have it as a piece that I can keep and listen to whenever.
I think conversation is a great way to what's the word? What's the word? Not stretch, but something your conversation. Beef out, fill out your conversation, fill out your ideas.
Okay.
Develop your ideas. So, you can start on something, and then when you start talking about it, you start realizing something about it that you didn't know. Flesh out. That's it. Flesh out.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Or to realize that what you're talking about is full of shit. So, I mean, I shouldn't have said anything about Chris or June and Rachel because
I'm sure it's fine. I mean, if they find this podcast, I would be amazed. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, because I don't watch them, so I have no idea what kind of videos they're making. So I don't like to really talk.
It's hard to really say something about something you don't.
I mean, watch. I know them as human beings, and that's how I remember them. I've met them as human beings, so I don't really know them as video makers, so to speak. Though I know they're very good at it.
True. All right, I think that's a good note to end on. Sorry to keep you here this long, but all right, I want to say this was a live conversation here on YouTube. You can, I got to do the call to action, Victor.
Sure, yeah, please.
You can follow Victor on Gimmeabreakman on his channel. Everybody knows who Victor is. I don't really need to plug any of your stuff. Be sure to leave us 5 stars. Blah blah blah.
Follow my Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, and follow his Instagram. You want anybody to follow anything? Now's the time to say it.
Just mine. I like taking pictures of shit and put them up. Yeah, I like stuff. Right. I think my Instagram is pretty decent.
I like it. I mean, I like a lot of your pictures. I want to end on this. So I got this Meiwaku mail today, right? The spam mail, and it said to me in Japanese. It said, it's like in a bathroom station, a station in the bathroom. Somebody wrote your email address, and it says, "Sefu friend, bullshit you, like looking for a fuck buddy or something, right? It's like, and then on the bottom it says, "Would you like to contact me to get this removed?" I'm like, "What is this, Black Mirror?" You know?
That's
And
bizarre.
I'm like, you know what I should do? I should do that at the end of every call to action video. It's like it's just like trying to get you to respond, you know?
So
right.
you're going to write all your
No, yeah, just
subscribers' names on toilet walls.
yeah, write subscribers' names like who's in the chat? Who can I make fun of?
Eric Timmer.
Eric Trimmer, we found your dick pics or something. If you never wanted to see them, go on the internet, you know.
You better pay. You better join his Patreon.
You better subscribe now or something. I don't know.
Right.
Sorry, Eric. I don't really know Eric. I feel bad calling him out. I don't know because he's the last person there. But Eric, thank you for watching this channel and the
Thanks for
podcast
watching.
to its fullest. All right. Anything you want to say before we go?
No, thanks for watching, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Next week, I think it's just me. I think I'm just gonna do because I tried to book a guest for next week, but I haven't heard anything from both of them. So I think I'll just do maybe I'll interview my girlfriend or something. I don't know. It'll be announced on my Twitter.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right,
See you next time, guys.
Right. Bye, man.
Bye.